The Philippines today. Hello everyone. Joining us tonight is Dr. Celia Lamkin, founder and chairperson of the National Youth Movement for the West Philippine Sea. Good evening, Dr. Celia.
Good evening, Dr. Ray, and it's a pleasure and honor to be with your show or your program tonight. And good evening to everyone who are watching and listening to your program. Thank you.
Okay, let's start. What are your thoughts on the influx of Chinese nationals working and studying in the Philippine archipelago right now?
Well, of course, that is a very alarming for the influx of Chinese students in the Philippines. Of course, recently we heard about 4,000 Chinese students in Cagayan itself, right? This is very alarming. Why? This is a big question for the CHED, the Commission on Higher Education. I would say, how would these Chinese students can understand English? Are they English-speaking students? Does the curriculum is it being translated into Chinese? I'm saying for them to understand. And I would say, Dr. Ray, this is very, for me, it is unacceptable in a way. Why? I would like to give you an example. This is a true story in the United States of America. All right. There was this Chinese student who was accepted. This is a Christian school in the United States. Then, that was from grades 9 to 12, then later, get into the college, in the US. Then after graduating, went into some kind of tactical training, military tactical training, owned privately by a former, I would say, those who are in the military, right? So in short, this Chinese student gained all those extensive and excellent military tactics and training from the United States of America. And then when he returned to China, he became, of course, the military, the People's Liberation of Army of the Communist Party of China, right? So he trained, the training that he got from the States, the United States, has been applied, has been taught to the rest of the military or the PLA or the People's Liberation Army of the China's Communist Party. So if this can happen in the United States, how much more in the Philippines? That is my big question. So they will be using students. Obviously, they use the students to go to the States, and basically, it's happening right now in the Philippines. So even with that, Dr. Ray, we have problems with POGOs. Remember the POGOs? A lot of Chinese, they are operating in the Philippines. And there was one news article, I'm not sure if you have read or heard about this. There was one People's Liberation Army who was caught or was in a trouble. So meaning to say, there's a PLA already in the Philippines. So how can we trust the influx of the Chinese students, especially in Cagayan? And we all know that that region is strategically very important, right? We have some EDCA sites over there, right? In somewhere there, and I'm not saying that this influx of Chinese students just happened now. It could have happened in the past administration, like the Duterte administration, I would say, when we had the influx of the Chinese citizens in the Philippines. And also, I would say, a lot of these Chinese have in possession. They are now having Filipino passports. So if these are happening in the Philippines, how much more this influx of Chinese students, what it will do to our country and for our national security. Thank you.
How important is Balikatan to the Philippine government?
Well, the Balikatan exercises is not only an exercises, but an exercise, I would say, but it's an avenue for cohesion between the military men of the Philippines and the United States with all these exercises in the West Philippine Sea. And as I said earlier, it is a manifestation of an ironclad alliance of the Philippines and the United States of America. And it will help also for the peace, stability, and security of the region, of course, specifically in our West Philippine Sea. And recently, of course, we started, it has been ongoing, of course, with these Balikatan exercises. So I would say our military men would gain some kind of skills and military tactics in case of, I would say, of course, in case of disaster or in case of any kind of invasion from foreign countries, and this is very important, especially now what China has been doing to us in our West Philippine Sea.
What message does Balikatan spotlighting to the international community?
I would say if this Balikatan exercise can happen between the U.S. and the Philippines, it can happen. We can have the, I would say, Mutual Defense Treaty, because this is a part of the Mutual Defense Treaty in 1951 of the U.S. and the Philippines. We can have a mutual defense treaty with other countries. And I would say this is very welcoming for us, because the more support from the international community, the more we will have some alliances with them. And I think China will be thinking twice whether she would continue this gray zone tactics, in our West Philippine Sea. And not only that, even with our Philippine rice, or the former Benham rice, because it's not only the West Philippine Sea that China has been trying to, I would say, to intrude, So they're using some, they're claiming some, we have some scientific research in the Benham rice and they're already there. So no, that's not acceptable. So the more of these countries to have, I would say, Balikatan exercises with the Philippines, the better. And the presence of these military men of other countries would give some kind of message to China. For China, you have to get out of our West Philippine Sea and all our waters. So I think that's my take on that one, Dr. Ray.
On a final note, despite the many obstacles and underlying issues in the West Philippine Sea, how can you invite ordinary Filipinos to participate in fighting for the Philippine legal claims on the West Philippine Sea?
All right. For our kababayans, I would say, of course, they are into the social media, right? Our kababayans. So probably, while they are in the social media, make use of that social media to dispel the lies of, the black propaganda of China that the West Philippine Sea is theirs. Okay? We have to know the truth and the fact that the West Philippine Sea is ours, that we won at the Arbitral Tribunal on July 12, 2016 against China's claim, the 9-dash claim. Okay, so we have to know that. Because once you know the truth and the facts, it's easy to correct the black propaganda of China. And it's always there in the social media. So that's one way for our kababayans to help fight, okay, for our claims in the West Philippine Sea. I would say not claim because it is ours, right? We have won at the Arbitral Tribunal on July 12, 2016. Another one would be sharing to your relatives, your friends in the communities about our West Philippine Sea. You can be creative. For example, you can join some arts club, or you can join a contest. For example, in an essay contest, which actually I launched in 2012. Before I founded the National Youth Movement for the West Philippine Sea, an international essay contest on the West Philippine Sea. And also, I would say I'm calling the Department of Education. There should be an inclusion and integration of the West Philippine Sea in the curriculum from K to 12 and in college. That can be integrated in your social studies, geography, history, and also for political science subjects. These are just examples, right? And also, I'm calling Senator Celia. In 2021, Dr. Ray, he was our guest speaker in one of our webinars. And I proposed to him the integration or the inclusion of the West Philippine Sea in the curriculum, since he's the chair of the basic education at the Senate. And until now, he is. So I'm calling Senator Will Gatchalian. I think it's about time to include the West Philippine Sea in the curriculum from K to 12 and also in the college. And to our ordinary Filipinos, they said, of course, we are inviting you to join our National Youth Movement for the West Philippine Sea, whose mission is to advocate for the preservation of the Philippine sovereignty and territorial integrity, with the goals of creating public awareness and public education on the issues of the West Philippine Sea, and also to instill patriotism among the Filipino youth and to rekindle their national spirit, and to protect the welfare and rights of our sectors in the West Philippine Sea, such as the Scarborough Shoal fishermen, Masinloc, Zambales, and neighboring towns of Zambales, in Pangasinan, La Union, and Bataan, and also our military and civilian residents in Pag-asa Island and the rest of Kalayaan Island groups. We have those. And, of course, our brave military men at the PRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal. Another goal is actually to protect our marine resources. That's a part of our goal of the National Youth Movement for the West Philippine Sea. So our kababayans can join in all these activities, Dr. Ray.
Dr. Celia Lamkin, founder and chairperson of the National Youth Movement for the West Philippine Sea. Thank you for your time. Well appreciated.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ray. And it's an honor again to be invited in your program. And thank you so much for having me. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay po kayo.
The Philippines Today. I am Dr. Reyron del Rosario. Catch us for our next episode only here in IPDCI News Channel.